Y'all keep talking about a woman can't run no country, and y'all niggas ain't even had no daddy. Who ran?
I gotta address this. I think this is the original of this clip that a lot of people are using. This lady says, you're worried about a woman running the country and you don't have a dad in the home. Who ran your home? Your mama. So that was the next line. This lady is so delusional and stupid, and everybody who uses it. They're saying because it's common for a woman to run a home, that means women can run homes. That's like saying how great a country turns out when there's a dictator running it, because it's been common to have dictators throughout history. What an asinine, stupid thing to say. Why don't we look at how well women run families? Intact families have way lower rates of kids with suicide, gangbanging, criminal activity, drug abuse, teenage pregnancy. If you have kids born in wedlock, married, stable home, and you have the kids after you're married, you have a 95% chance that they'll never be that you'll never be in poverty. The family will never be in poverty. You have those kids. Now, of course, in a married family, there's kids who are suicidal, and there's all kinds of problems with that. But it jumps up 10 to 100 times worse when you have a single mother, because they utterly fail at families. Just because they're common at kidnapping kids by abusing the court system. See, this low IQ, airheaded person who can't do any research, and the people who say stupid stuff like she did in this comment are emotionally triggered, emotional basket cases. Now, we expect that from modern females. But there's a whole bunch of men who ride this bandwagon. She said, you guys are afraid to have a woman in the White House, Kamala Harris, which is utterly stupid. The average American votes for who they think has a policy. So that's a talking point of identity politics that was created by people who have no policy. It was created by snake oil salesmen, hustler, con, crook politicians. People love talking about hustling preachers who take money from the parishioners or the church, and they're living high off the hog, and they're not serving the people. Politicians are doing that more commonly and 100 times worse. And this psycho biatch is sitting here saying, I'm going to use a politician line, that we love single mothers, that mothers run the household. The average mother who runs a family pushed the dad out. And this is a woman of color. And so she's bragging about women who push men out. And it's most common in the black family to push men out. And why did they do that? Because white supremacists in the government saw in the civil rights era, when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were marching with their wives, and the black family was intact, and black families had the same rate of working, or the same low rate of joblessness as white families, the same home ownership, all-time high home ownership. 80% of black kids were born into black wed families back then. They were like, we got to do something. Like, we can't blow up churches anymore. We can't bomb black Wall Streets anymore. Black folks are going to come back, and they're going to build their own communities again. We have to stop it. How do we stop it? Let's dangle government cheese to black women, and they will be emotionally led, because it's the curse of Eve for women to want to be independent of men. It's a radical feminist agenda that started in the early 1900s. And the feminist movement actually was hyped up in order to attack the civil rights movement. So any black woman who is hyping up single motherhood and hyping up feminism is hyping up white supremacy. She's a house slave. She's a Stephan. So this lady in this video is a sellout, house slave, doing the work of the Willie Lynch letter, because she's bragging about how great women are, and she's a black woman, and the black community has the highest rate of fatherlessness. She's thinking it's funny and it's cute, when it's a white supremacist agenda to break up the black family. And black women and any other single mom, for the most part, calls up the welfare office, calls up the prosecutor's office, makes a false report of a restraining order, makes a false claim the dad's abusive, goes to family court, gets an advocate there, gets free help from the family court facilitator, gets a biased judge. You know, that same black woman might turn around and say, oh, well, the criminal justice system is against black men, but she'll go turn around and do the same thing the criminal justice system does to black men, to a father, or black father if she has a black mate or a black baby's dad or whatever. These subhuman piece of shit, garbage, evil demons think it's funny when a mother heads a household. Do you know, I just saw a statistic where a man, I didn't even know it was this high. The greatest predictor of child abuse is if there's a step parent in the home. And since women have custody 90% of the time, that step parent is usually the father. So women create the greatest risk of child abuse by inviting a knucklehead into the home. Women are utter failures at leading a home. And this psycho biatch is up here bragging about mothers running a home. And I'm not trying to get political here, but the Democratic Party is the party of feminism. Kamala is a big-time feminist. There's a whole bunch of preaching about women's rights, and women are going to lose all their rights and all this stuff. Women have all kinds of rights. If you look at what women had to go through hundreds of years ago, men used to put metal masks over their face with a mouthpiece so they would shut up if they were nagging them too much. And women are talking about they're oppressed now. Wow, they're on social media that was invented by men, using their cell phone that was created by a man, that was mined by, you know, a lot of men. I know there's child slave labor out there and stuff too. But they're driving a car made by a man, paved on a road by a man. If all these women are so tough and strong, why don't you get off your fat ass and go, you know, go on a oil rig at sea. Go be a fireman. Go pick up some bricks and be a bricklayer. Go do some sheetrock. Go build something. 90 to 99% of women don't want to do those jobs. This chick is up here saying we're afraid to have a woman in the office. Or in the White House. It's utter bullshit. But the main point is that she said women have been running families. Yeah, they have. And utterly failing at it. That's like bragging about a basketball coach or somebody who's been in the NBA, or a football coach in the NFL who's been there for long. Oh, this person's been a coach for this long. They have a losing winning percentage is negative. They have a 400 winning percentage. They're a failure just because you've been doing something for a long time, or just because you're more popular at doing it. That's like saying white people in the Jim Crow South helped build the South because they were all the ones with jobs and stuff. You know, they had slave labor actually doing the real work and stuff, just because they're in charge, or just because they're running things. Like, they did a great job at what they did. And women, like this psycho chick who's bragging about single moms, women almost never, except for the women victims that I talk about, the 10% of women victims in family court, for the most part, women can never raise kids without extra help. They need to go move back to their mom or to their dad or to their family, or be around a support network. They need child support. They need welfare. They need alimony. They need the bills paid. They can never do it on their own. Single fathers struggle and grind and work on their own for the most part. They might get family help or whatever, but they don't look to the spouse or the ex or the baby's mom for any help. I know my baby's mom's abandoning little whore. You know, even when she made 3 times as much as I did, didn't contribute half of what she should. But see, we're so brainwashed in society. Oh, well, yeah, women are holding it down. Women are running families. Yeah, poorly, if you look at the stats. So this psycho idiot is so delusional. She's up here talking shit about a bunch of utter failures. Women fail at leading families. That's the